Coming up on WMLT News, some big names will be making appearances in this year's Greenbrier Classic.
Plus some updates on Malaysian Flight 370 transmissions. All this and more starting right now. Hello and welcome to WMLT News. I'm Jared Klein.
And I'm Dalton Paul. In Hinton, a motorcycle driver is dead after an accident in Summers County. The crash happened before noon Tuesday on Route 3 near Dale and Hinton. Officials say a man was traveling east on a motorcycle when he hit a truck head-on that was traveling west. The motorcycle driver was ejected from the motorcycle, then hit by a second vehicle. Sergeant Timothy Bragg of West Virginia State Police says the impact from the truck likely killed the man. Another driver was involved and treated and released for an arm injury. No charges have been filed, and the man's identity is not yet being released at this time. Some bad news for job seekers in the Mountain State. A new job report finds that unemployment rate increased in a majority of West Virginia in February. Out of the 55 counties tallied, 52 saw jobless claims increase. Wetzel County has the highest unemployment rate with 3.2%, and Monongalia County has the lowest with 4.6%. The counties that saw unemployment decline was Clay, Hancock, and Mason. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that unemployment across the country is at 6.7%, the lowest rate in years.
Both West Virginia senators and 3 representatives signed a letter in support of declaring the Elk River chemical spill a major disaster. Senators Manchin and Rockefeller, along with Representatives Ray Hall, Capito, and McKinley, co-wrote the letter to President Obama. The congressional leaders said that the economic impact has been calculated to be $61 million, and that number is growing. Last week, Governor Tomlin wrote a request to the federal government to allow assistance to the area by calling it a major disaster. Now with our CU Minute, here's Chad Brown.
Thanks, guys. Concord University is currently in the midst of a search for their 12th president. The Board of Governors has finalized 3 candidates: Dr. Mark Estep, current president of Southwest Virginia Community College in Richlands, Virginia; Dr. Steve Codon, the current president at Laurel University in High Point, North Carolina; and the current interim president of Concord University, Dr. Kendra Bogus. Each of the candidates is meeting with various groups on campus, including the students as well as the Campus Beautiful's faculty and staff. More will be coming on WMLT as the search continues. Concord University is also gearing up for Greek Week as Concord's national lettered groups get ready to compete. From midnight dance practices to quiz bowl testing, there's nothing these Greeks are not doing to prepare. Only time will tell who the winners will be, and good luck to all the Greeks out there. Concord's Beckley campus is restarting their Stuff the Bus campaign. It was announced on March 31st that Concord's Beckley campus at the Irma Bird Center in Beckley will be looking to community members to donate school supplies in order to help West Virginia students start the 2014 school year off right. The event starts on August 2nd at the Irma Bird Center in Beckley. That's it for CU Minute this week. Back to you guys at the desk.
More news today on Flight 370. Malaysia is still searching after more than 3 weeks. All they found is some ocean trash and more questions. With the release of the cockpit transcript by Malaysian authorities, it was revealed that the last transmission from the cockpit of the doomed airline did not say, quote, "all right, good night," end quote, to respond to a goodnight message from the tower in Kuala Lumpur, but instead the message from the cockpit responded, quote, "good night, Malaysian 370," causing more suspicion and questions. Malaysian government officials are saying that they are taking the plane's sharp left turn as a criminal act carried out by someone on board. But for now, it remains unclear who signed off on Flight 370. And the plane remains missing as the investigation is still underway. The United Nations has released a major report on climate change. The report said that while natural systems are currently bearing the brunt of climate change, a growing impact on humans is feared. The report warned that health, homes, food, and safety are all likely to be threatened by rising temperatures. Scientists say that the document is the most comprehensive assessment of the issue to date.
Last Monday was the last day to sign up for the new affordable health care law before facing a penalty. Before then, students at Concord got to ask questions about the new law. During the session, healthcare information expert Teresa Hicks went through the process of signing up step by step. It was just one of her stops in 13 counties that range from Clay to Wyoming. Hicks says that it is especially important that younger people sign up. Some students were surprised by the new rules, but overall found the presentation helpful. "13 people in Wheeling have been charged with participating in a cocaine trafficking ring. U.S. Attorney William J. Eileenfeld announced the 73-count indictment last Monday. In addition to cocaine possession, the charges include money laundering, conspiracy, and distributing a controlled substance near a public college. Eileenfeld says the group brought the drugs to Kaiser from other parts of the country to sell. Each defendant faces up to life in prison to the conspiracy charge. Stay tuned, there will be more WMLT news after the break.
The two suspects wanted for the break-in at a Tazewell County elementary school have been arrested. 32-year-old Mark Anthony Davis and 28-year-old Jeffrey Ryan Hill, both from Doran Bottom, have been arrested Tuesday and charged with the nighttime breaking and entering and destruction of property at Raven Elementary School. A number of items stolen have been recovered, including a camera, radios, and the suspect's clothing. The school was closed Monday morning when employees found that the school was broken into. The school resumed as normal on Tuesday. Anyone with information related to the break-in can contact Detective Quillen at 276-988-1169. A Kanawha County prosecutor is facing a misdemeanor domestic battery charge. Media outlets report that prosecutor Mark Plants turned himself in Monday after an arrest warrant was issued. Plants is accused of hitting his son with a leather belt more than 10 times. Investigation began after Plants' ex-wife reported the incident. He was released on a $1,000 personal recognizance bond following his arraignment in Kanawha County Magistrate Court. If convicted, Plants faces up to 5 years in prison, or 1 year in prison, and a $500 fine.
For the second time in this decade, Elton John will be performing at the Charleston Civic Center on June 11th. Some of John's achievements include an Oscar, a Golden Globe, and a Grammy for Best Original Song for his work on the Lion King movie in 1994. He's returning with this band on June 11th as part of his tour to promote his latest album, The Diving Board. The show will include classic hits plus John's new work and will feature his return to the keyboard. Tickets go on sale Friday, April 11th after 10 in the morning.
And now with this week's Ticket or Leave It, here's Jesse Stevens.
Thanks, guys. Over the last few years, remakes have become some of the most popular styles of movies. Whether it's a classic fairy tale or a dramatic superhero story, audiences can't get enough of these retro movies. But just because remakes are popular, that doesn't always mean they're good movies. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty hit theaters last December. This movie is a remake of the 1947 classic starring Danny Kaye. The remake tells the story of a researcher for Life magazine named Walter Mitty, who's played by Ben Stiller. Walter Mitty is a hopeless romantic who is constantly getting lost in his daydreams. But despite his romantic side, Walter has a terrible time speaking his mind. His shyness leads to a misunderstanding that almost costs him his job. So Walter is forced to become a world traveler in an attempt to save Life magazine. The story is interesting enough, but it isn't as thrilling as it could be. Not to mention, Ben Stiller's comedic acting style doesn't exactly fit with the semi-dramatic genre. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty only scores 2 out of 5. When it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray on April 15th, it might be worth a trip to Redbox, but only if you're bored. If you're looking for a great movie, you have to check out Saving Mr. Banks. This movie depicts the true story of P.L. Travers and her struggle with selling the rights to her beloved children's book Mary Poppins to Walt Disney. Throughout the movie, you not only see the relationship between Miss Travers and Disney develop, you also learn about what inspired the classic story behind the character of Mary Poppins. Through countless twists and turns, the movie follows the emotional trials of writing a smash hit film. It also shows the writing process behind the beloved songs from the original Mary Poppins movie. With stellar performances from Emma Thompson as Travers and Tom Hanks as Walt Disney, Saving Mr. Banks is a heartfelt classic. This movie is a must-have for everyone who grew up singing the songs that Mary Poppins taught us. Saving Mr. Banks scores 4 out of 5. It was recently released on DVD and Blu-ray, so if you haven't already, you have to buy this movie. Your classic collection won't be complete without it. And that's it for this week's edition of Ticket or Leave It. Thanks for watching.
Now with sports, here's Sarah White.
With March Madness in full swing, brackets everywhere fell within the first 2 NCAA tournament games, after number 6 seed Ohio fell to number 11 Dayton, and number 5 seed Cincinnati fell to Harvard, who was seeded 12th in their division. ESPN estimates that by the first day of their annual Perfect Bracket $1 Million contest, only 11.9% of the brackets were still viable. The championship game between the winners of the Final Four will be played on Monday, April 8th at 7 o'clock. And with basketball season coming to an end, baseball season is back in full swing. Opening day, March 31st, may have been chillier than most opening days, but that didn't hinder some of the great moments from coming, including big news from the Angels, from Mike Trout's contract extension to the introduction and wild success of Instant Replay. That's all for This Week in Sports. Back to you at the desk.
The Beatles are back in the Liverpool Legends, and they're coming to the Campus Beautiful. They are performing in Concord's Carter Center Main Gymnasium on Tuesday, April 8th at 8 p.m. The band is widely considered to be one of, if not the most authentic representation of the Beatles, performing today due wildly in part to the fact that they were handpicked by Louise Harrison, sister of the late George Harrison of the famous 1960s band. Tickets for the general public are $10 each and are available at Cheap Thrills Records and at the Concord University Student Center office.
The final episode ever of How I Met Your Mother aired on CBS on Monday, March 31st. The beloved fivesome of Ted, Barney, Robin, Marshall, and Lily took their last ride in a 2-episode finale entitled Last Forever. How I Met Your Mother first aired on September 19th in 2005. So after a 9-year run, the show is finally over, but fans do not need to despair too much, as a spin-off of the series called How I Met Your Dad is in the works and is expected to air sometime in the fall of 2014.
Pilates and kickboxing have been used for years as a way to stay in shape and promote health. As Jared Klein reports, combining the two creates a fun new hybrid exercise.
Piloxing is a new type of exercise that combines the flexibility of Pilates and the intensity of kickboxing. The highly intense workout intends to get the heart rate and breathing up by combining different types of motions. There are intervals that work on legs, abs, and overall cardio. Monica Rahal has been a certified instructor for 1 year and is currently teaching the class at Concord. She says that the workout is different in that there is less pressure to perform well. And while the session at Concord only had women, Rahal says men are also welcome to participate. A few of the participants said that there are a variety of reasons they do the workout. Classes are being offered on Mondays at 5:30 in the ballroom of the Student Center at Concord. For WMLT News, I'm Jared Klein in Athens. That's it for WMLT News this week. I'm Jared Klein.
And I'm Dalton Ball. Tune again in 2 weeks.